Hey everyone, today we're going to take a trip about 1,000 years into the past to explore a poem that was literally etched onto a temple wall. It's incredibly short, just 28 characters, but it holds a truth so powerful and so modern, you'd think it was written yesterday.
So right at the center of this poem is this incredible riddle. You have a poet, totally in awe of this huge mountain, but he says he can't actually see its true form because he's standing right inside it. That paradox is our starting point today. What can a mountain possibly teach us about our own minds? And how can we get a clearer view of our world and, well, ourselves?
And the person who came up with this amazing riddle was Su Shi, a true giant of the Song Dynasty. I mean, this guy was so much more than a poet. He was a celebrated painter, a master calligrapher, and a major political figure. His life was this incredible mix of artistic genius and political drama, which really gave his work this deep, profound quality that you can only get from real-life experience.
Exactly. And to really get his work, you can't just read it on a page. You have to experience it as music. The sound and the rhythm are everything in Chinese poetry. So let's walk through it line by line. We'll listen to the original Chinese first to really hear that music, and then we'll dive into the meaning in English.
Okay, let's start with the very first line. In Chinese, it sounds like this. 横看成岭侧成峰.
And what that means visually is just beautiful. From the front, a mountain range. From the side, a single peak. So right away, Su Shi sets up this idea that reality can totally shift depending on where you're standing.
The second line builds right on that idea of perspective. It goes, 远近高低各不同.
And that translates to, from afar, from near, from high, from low, each view is different. See what he's doing? The mountain isn't just one thing anymore. It's become this collection of countless different but equally real experiences.
Okay, and this is where things start to shift. The poem turns inward with the third line. 不识庐山真面目.
And this is really the poet's confession, you know? He's saying, I don't recognize Mount Lu's true face. After describing all this complexity, he just admits that his own view is incomplete. It's a very humble moment.
And finally, the last line gives us the reason why. And it's so profound. It goes, 只缘身在此山中, which brings the whole thought together. For I am inside the mountain myself. It's such a simple, elegant explanation for a huge, complicated problem.
So now that we've heard the poem, let's break down what we're seeing. Su Shi was a master painter, remember, and here he's basically painting with words. These first two lines create this incredible portrait of Mount Lu, not as some static photo, but as a living, breathing thing.
Okay, check this out, because the first line is pure genius. The characters he uses tell us that a horizontal view, looking straight on, reveals a huge, sprawling range, but a side view shows a sharp, single peak. Now, the mountain itself hasn't changed at all, but our perception of it is completely different, just based on where we are. It's a masterclass in showing, not just telling. And then, the second line just takes that idea and blows it wide open by listing all these other perspectives. Far, near, high, low. By doing that, Su Shi is basically saying there is no single, true version of the mountain. Its identity is constantly changing, and it's defined entirely by the person looking at it. All right, so this is the big leap. This is where the poem goes from being a masterful painting of a landscape to a profound map of the human mind. The last two lines pivot from the physical world into the world of philosophy. Let's really dig into that shift. So, the key that unlocks this whole philosophical side is this one term, Zhen Mian Mu. It's translated as true face, but it means so much more. It's about the fundamental truth, the real essence, the actual state of affairs. Su Shi isn't just sad he can't see the mountain shape, he's frustrated he can't grasp its essential reality.
Right. So the mountain isn't just a mountain anymore, is it? It's this powerful metaphor for, well, for any big, messy, complex situation we find ourselves in. When he says he's inside the mountain, he's saying he's too tangled up in the details, too close to everything to see the whole picture. Our very position, our involvement creates blind spots.
And listen, this wasn't just some abstract, philosophical idea for Su Shi. You have to look at what was going on in his life. He wrote this in 1084, while he was traveling from a brutal political exile. He went from being this celebrated official at the very heart of the empire to an outcast, slandered and sent to a remote province. He knew better than anyone how your position could totally change your reality. From inside the capital, politics looked one way. From exile, it was a completely different and way more dangerous mountain. This poem came directly from that pain.
And that's what makes this poem so powerful, right? That personal experience, that pain. It turns it into something that speaks to all of us. It's not just about Song Dynasty politics. It's become this timeless tool for understanding our own lives, right here, right now.
So, 1,000 years later, the poem is basically asking us the same question. When are we stuck inside the mountain? When are we so wrapped up in a situation that we just can't see it for what it really is?
And you know what? It happens all the time. Think about it. When you're so deep in the details of a work project that you lose sight of the bigger goal, or when you're in a heated argument and all you can see is your own point of view. It's when we judge some complex issue from our one limited perspective, or even when we try to look at ourselves, our own flaws, and can't see what everyone else sees.
So, the wisdom of the poem, if you put it another way, is really a call for objectivity. It's the ancient version of the saying, you can't see the forest for the trees. To see the Zhenmian Mu, the true face of anything, we first have to be humble enough to admit that our own view is limited, and then we have to find a way to step outside of it.
So we'll leave you with that question. A question that Sushi basically sent across the centuries just for you. Take a second and think about your own life, your work, your relationships. What's the mountain that you're currently standing inside of? And what amazing new things might you see if you just took one single step back?